What is the creepiest thing that's happened to you personally that made you question reality? One morning I woke up to my alarm going off at 6:30 as usual and got up and cooked breakfast. As soon as I sat down to eat, my alarm went off again and I woke up in bed. I dreamed that I woke up and went about my morning routine. That was easily the most disorienting thing I've ever experienced. I am a TA in our college's anatomy class, which takes place in the cadaver lab. Dead bodies. Late one night I am working alone in the cadaver lab and I start to hear a noise. It's hard to tell what the noise sounds like, but it's a consistent muffled noise. So I kind of walk around the room and locate it. Now normally the bodies are all kept in these big metal crates, but at the time we had one more body than we did crates, so one body was in a plastic body bag and that's where the noise was coming from. So I am terrified at this point, all alone in the lab looking down at this plastic body bag, that I can see the outline of the body that presumably is coming back to life because it is definitely making noise. I stood over this body for a solid minute debating whether I should open the bag, and finally the noise just stops. I got all my stuff together and bolted from the lab. A couple weeks later the professor tells me to be careful if I ever work on that body because there is a live pacemaker in it, so don't cut into that and it will vibrate and ring every few hours if it's low on battery. I let out the biggest sigh of relief that we weren't haunted. Once woke up to the sound of heavy breathing and felt as if I was being watched. I couldn't move for a while either. Then I just blurted out my dog's name and kept calling for him. He didn't run over, and as soon as I could get myself to move I went looking for him. Found him sitting in the kitchen doorway just staring straight forward. I started calling him from right behind him and he wouldn't even turn around. Then I touched his back and he turned to glance at me but went right back to his trance. A year or so after the fact I found out that the first thing was probably sleep paralysis. Not too sure about what was going on with the dog though.